Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Chantelle and today we're going to be doing another furniture flip. So today we're going to be taking this old but sturdy cabinet and transforming it into a really exciting piece using a tribal stencil. So to start off, I removed the handles. It just makes it so easier to work with the piece when you have a clear space. I then took my beloved orbital sander and sanded the top and the sides. I didn't touch the front of the drawers because I have a different plan for those, but I really just touched up lightly with the sander to give it a really smooth surface for when I'm ready to paint. This is what it looked like. So I'm not trying to strip off everything, I just really want a nice surface. After sanding, it's really important to wipe off just to remove all the debris, so when you come to paint you don't have any bits or uglies in your paint. I like to just use a lightly dampened microfiber cloth because I've just found that it doesn't leave any bits or lints on your piece. The next thing I did was to fill in the holes after removing the handles. So I've used wood filler, but I will say I made a bit of a boo-boo error here. So really what I should have done was to use wood filler that matched the colour of the timber, but as you can see I did not. So there's quite a bit of a contrast there between the wood filler and the actual piece, which just means that I have to undertake another step. It's all good. So after sanding that down, I give it another quick wipe down. So because I did not use the correct wood filler, I have to use this proof tint stain to blend those holes. Otherwise, when I come to use the stencil, you're really going to see that wood filler, which I really don't want. So using the proof tint just allows me to blend these really lightened wood filler holes, so it's not so obvious when I come to use the stencil. These are the things that I use for the stenciling. So just a really cheap stencil brush, acrylic paint, and some paper towels just to wipe off the excess paint. One thing that I'm really glad that I did do was to practice the technique, because this is the first time that I've ever stenciled, and to be honest, it is a bit tricky in terms of knowing how much paint to use and, you know, the technique. Like they say, practice makes perfect. So here I'm just using the inside of the door to try and work out what I'm doing and to try and improve my techniques. This is what it looks like after my first practice. Not great. Smudgy, the stencil lines are really not clear. It's just a bit of a hot mess. So I am really pleased that I did practice. And when it comes to doing the real thing, I'm a lot more confident about how much paint I should be using. So in terms of using the stencil, it's really important that the stencil is straight and in line, and I would recommend using a spirit level to do that. And then tape the stencil in place so it's secure and it's not moving all over the place as you're stenciling. As you can see, I'm dabbing off the excess paint because less is best for stenciling. You have too much paint, it just creates a mess. So after painting the first section, this is where the real fun begins. With these stencils, you have to find the transition points. The transition points are these little crossover points here, and these need to align to make sure that you continue the pattern. And for some stencils with larger holes, those transition points are easier to find. But for other stencils, like this one, it's like a needle in a haystack. So I'm using the stencil brush, but I think if I was going to use a stencil again, I would use a roller. It kills your arms after a while. Choosing the right hardware can really make or break your piece. So I always take a bit of time to make sure I get something I'm really happy with. In the end, I choose these blue leather straps because I think they'll go really well with the blue of the unit, and they're really modern and contemporary. So the last step is to protect the piece. I'm using a Jolie varnish top coat, which is specific for furniture. I use that on the top and the sides. So a reminder of what the piece looked like before and what it looks like now. Totally transformed. The stencil has given this piece so much life and energy. I find it fascinating that just using a stencil and some cheap acrylic paint has taken a really standard, boring piece of furniture into something that is literally jaw-dropping, if I would say anyway. So instead of throwing something like this away, we've been able to create something really special and unique within a few hours and, you know, maybe $30, $40. Nothing at all. I mean, how much would this have cost for you to buy it brand new? Anyway, that's about it for now. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you have any questions, let me know. Don't forget to subscribe and press the notifications for new videos. And I'll see you soon.